Welcome to How to Use the Great Leaps Progress Chart. Our charts may look a little bit different, but with some teaching, they are easy to use, should only add on about 10 seconds to your intervention time, and they give lots of information so you can, at a glance, see your students' progress. This is the Great Leaps Progress Chart. You have some at the back of your Great Leaps books, and you will have to have one for each section that you're doing with your student, each Great Leap section. As you see here, we filled in the top. In this case, the student is Lily Golden. Her school ID number is 2325. Her instructor's name is Mrs. Skislin, and she goes to PS 225. This is the chart for her Great Leaps K5 stories. So she's in the elementary book, and this is her stories chart. She will also have a chart for the Great Leaps phonics and the Great Leaps sight phrases, but for today we're going to work with her stories chart. On the notes section, I also have that she's a pullout from Mrs. Casey's room, so that her tutors know where to find her. You'll see here that we have filled in the date. The date goes on these slanted lines, and the week for Great Leaps in our mind always begins on a Sunday. So we fill in the Sunday, that the Sunday of the week goes on this line. And, we have data. Lily was absent on Monday, so there's nothing that goes in Monday. Easy enough to know what to do. If they're not there, don't fill anything in. But she was there on Tuesday and started on the Great Leaps program. As you can see in the raw data section, which is the section on the bottom, Lily read 26 words in that minute timing with 5 errors. The words she read in a minute go on the left of the slash, and the errors go on the right. Under page number, you can just put the probe number. That is easier to keep track of, and that way we'll all know what we're doing there. So that's how you fill in the raw data section with words per minute, errors, and the probe number. Now for the funny graph part. This is the chart section. So for the words per minute, 26 words per minute, we just put a little dot at 26. So that's about halfway between 20, which is the 20 line, and the next line above it, which is the 30 line. So a little bit above halfway would be 26, and that's where we put a dot. Lily had 5 errors, so we filled that in. Oh, there's the line that says 5. We've put a little X on that line. Errors, we have the numbers 1, 2, and then we didn't write in, but there's 3, 4, and then 5. So 26 words per minute gets a dot, and 5 errors gets an X. Well, Lily was here on Wednesday, and she read a lot more words on that day. She read 43 words and had 3 errors. Now, for this exercise, this probe 1 has 32 words in it. So this means she actually made it all the way to the end of the story and went back up to the top and read more words to get to that count of 43. So we have a little dot where 43 is, which is, if that's 50, that would be 40. So the dot goes at about 43, and the X goes on 3. Because those days are consecutive, days in a row connect. So the dot from Tuesday connects the dot to Wednesday with a little line. Same thing with the errors. If they're days in a row, they connect. Let's see what happened on Thursday. Oh, on Thursday, Lily read 39 words and only had 1 error. She got the goal. There were 32 words in this probe, and she read all of them, and she even read 7 more because there were 32 words and she had 39. and she only had one error. To get the goal in a Great Leaps exercise, you need to read the whole page with 2 or less errors, and Lily did it. That's when you take a pencil in an alternate color and draw a nice big line all the way down the chart part to show that she got the leap. She mastered that exercise and never has to do it again. Let's see what happened on Friday. Lily started a new exercise, and as expected, it's taking her a little bit to get into the swing of a new exercise. Lily only read 19 words on story 2, and she had 4 errors. So we have a dot right under the 20 line, because that's where 19 would be, and an X next to the number 4. You have to pretend there's a number 4 there, but the line under 5 is 4. As you can see, the dots and X's for Friday don't connect because it's a new exercise. So they don't connect to the old exercise at all. It's a new deal. There we have Lily's first week. Let's see what happens next week. Lily came back on Monday. She was there, and she read 17 words. So the dot is closer to 20 than it is to 10, and she had 1 error. And she's still on exercise 2 because she hasn't gotten the goal yet. So she's still on probe 2. Note the date on top. I have 6/3/18 because it's a new week, and that was Sunday's date. The next day came around and Lily read a lot more words. She also picked up a couple more errors. So the dot for Tuesday is at 33, and the X is at 3, which is 1 above the number 2. You can see that her words per minute definitely increased, but she got a couple of errors, so she probably needs to slow down and focus a little bit more. Those dots and X's connect because they're days in a row. Wednesday rolls around and Lily read 50 words, which goes right on the 50 line, but she had 3 errors. We're still having to work hard to get those errors down to the 2 or more she needs to get the leap. And on Thursday, she read 52 words, and wait a second, she had 0 errors, but there's no space for 0 on the chart. What do we do with that? Well, 0 goes on the floor. There were no errors, so we don't even put them officially on the chart. That line that says floor, right at the bottom, that is where you mark 0 errors, right on the floor. And let's see what happened the next day. Lily got another leap. She read 65 words of a 56-word story, and she only had 1 error. Way to go, Lily. The days connect because they were days in a row. We draw the leap line and put the little circle on the raw data section to show that she got the leap. And Monday will bring us a brand new exercise. Good job, Lily. Okay, Monday rolls around. Lily is on story 3. She did a great job the first time out with 44 words and only 1 error. Again, the days aren't consecutive because she wasn't in school on Saturday or Sunday. So the lines, there are no connections from the dots and the X's from the previous week. It would be only if she worked on the weekend. Oh, she wasn't there on Tuesday. Must have had a holiday or been sick. Wednesday, she read 55 words with 2 errors. So the dot is halfway between 50 and the next line above it, which would be the 60 line, and the X is on 2. Those do not connect because they're not days in a row. She was absent on Tuesday, so we have no data for Tuesday when she wasn't there. And Thursday she made it to school again, but it does not look like she had a good day. Thursday, she only read 40 words, so she dropped 15 words, and she went up in the errors. Well, that's not what we want to see. We want to see the opposite of that. We want to see the errors going down and the words per minute going up, but everybody's entitled to a bad day, and Friday is another day. A common question asked on the Great Leaps program is, what do we do when errors are made after a student goes back to the top of the probe? Students in the Great Leaps program read for the full minute, so oftentimes they will finish the story, and then the tutor needs to instruct them to go back and reread the story until that timer goes off, so we have an accurate words per minute count. Once a student makes it to the end of the page with 2 or less errors in that minute, they have gotten the goal, and that goal is never taken from them. They still, however, need to read for the full minute. If they make an error when they go back through it, those errors get charted, but do not make the student lose the goal. Even if they had 6 errors their second time through, it would not affect the goal. Thus, you can have a goal with, say, 4 errors. Those errors were made after the goal was accomplished. And that will never be taken away from them. Frequently asked questions. Just to review. Where do I put a 0? As mentioned during the video, zeros get charted on the floor, that line under the main part of the chart. And do I need to chart all 3 sections of the Great Leaps reading program? And the answer to that is absolutely. We take data on all of the Great Leaps exercises so we can see the progress the student is making. Every student will have a progress chart for each section that they're doing. Typically, students will have 3 charts, one for phonics, one for sight phrases, and one for stories. Where do I get more charts? You can either Xerox them on your own, you can order them at www.greatleaps.com, or you can print them off of the PDF version that we have available on the website. The choice is yours. I hope this video was informative and you now know how to use the Great Leaps progress chart. For more information about both charting and the Great Leaps programs, you can call 877-475-3277 or email on the contact form at www.greatleaps.com. Happy leaping!